Welcome to my video library, Phil's Gang Video Library. The other day I'm listening to television and I'm listening to Dick Morris, who is a familiar name. He's promoting a webinar. He's promoting an annuity. I want to share this with you. First, listen to what he was promoting.
Next time you meet some genius, some stock market analyst, some fortune teller who tells you he can foresee the stock market of the future, ask him a question. Did he foresee a 50% drop in oil prices that would take the market plunging along with it? After all, energy is the fourth largest component of the stock market. He didn't see it coming. Nobody could. Don't bet your retirement life savings on that kind of volatility. Learn about the crash-proof retirement system created by Phil Cannella. It guarantees that when the market goes up, you go up. And when it goes down, you stay even.
Okay. First, let's talk about this program. When the market goes up, you make money. When the market goes up and the market goes back down, you don't lose money on the way down. This is what they're selling. They're selling that you will not lose money on the way down. You'll be even. Now, if that was the case, wouldn't everybody be in this program? I certainly would have all my money in the program. You can guarantee me I never lose money, never lose my principal. Here is the scam. That's an annuity. All it is you're buying an insurance policy. So how can all the insurance companies guarantee people that when the market goes down, they'll pick up their losses for them? It doesn't make sense, does it? The policy would have to be $1 million. Here's the scam. The way it works is that nobody buys an annuity when you have the stock market going up 200%. So when the stock market's going from 2009 and the stock market is going up 200%, nobody cares, okay? Because they're not losing money. They're making money. So nobody's going to pay attention to this ad. He's not going to sell anything. Here's when they pay attention. When the market, all of a sudden, the S&P or the Dow 30 then plunges. Now everybody's angry at their broker. Everybody's angry at their money manager because they've lost money. So now they're grumpy. That's when they hear this ad, and they'll say, oh my God, I want to get in that program so that I never lose my money on the way down again. Well, here's how it works, the scam. People get in on this program right at this point here on the bottom. As I say, who cares? If you're making money, nobody's buying an annuity to protect, because you don't think the market's going down anyways. Nobody ever thinks the market's going down. That's why nobody ever gets out in time. That's why everybody gives their money back, because nobody thinks it's ever going to go down. They always think, oh, it's different this time, when this is the third bubble. And what made the first bubble and the second bubble collapse and the third bubble, which we're in now, which is just extended collapse, is all the same components, but we won't get into that. What the program is this, the guarantee. You go in and you buy the annuity. First of all, very expensive. And sometimes they lure you in with, if you put in $100,000, if you put in $100,000, we'll give you another $10,000 just for joining up, okay? Now tell me, would anybody really do that? Of course not, okay? So they'll credit you. They don't give you the cash. They'll actually credit. They'll give you credit. But here's the scam. So you sign a contract. First of all, the front load, the commission is brutal, very expensive. You make a lot of money selling these things because you get on $100,000 on policy. You can make $10,000, $15,000 commission up front. Secondly, when you try to get out of this thing, it's very costly, very costly. How it works is this: you get locked in. So when you buy these annuities, you buy when the market loses 50%. That's when you buy one of these things, because now you're going to say, I don't go through that again. But the contract states in very small fine print that you are limited. You are limited to how much money you can make on the way back up. Okay? So the stock market on the way back up now, going this way again, they're going to limit you to maybe a 5% gain, the most. Okay? That's what you're limited to, about a 5% gain. Well, if you went into this program back in 2009, there was a 200% gain. Well, who makes all the money? The insurance company. That's who makes the money. They're the people who are going to get rich out of this. So, because think about it. How do they guarantee if the market's going down, okay? How are they going to guarantee if the market's going down you're not going to lose money? Because they make a fortune on the way back up. So now we're going to get another crash. They're going to sell their annuities. They're going to screw everybody. And then when this market goes up another, let's say if it goes up 100% this time, it goes up 100%, you're going to be limited to about 5% of the 100%. So who makes all the money? The insurance company makes the money. Now, when you get up to the, and what happens, by the time that happens, and you found you made no money, most people get out of the annuity. They try to get out of it because they catch on to the scam. They catch on. So again, but there's always a new group of suckers come along. So again, when the market rallies, that's when they start promoting these things. So they know the bubble is going to crack, and they know the market's going to come back down again. And they always start promoting. You'll hear on, especially on Saturdays, when you're driving around, you'll hear on radio these programs. They really push these programs. So all it is, it's an insurance program that you can't win at. So the insurance company, let's put it in terms of dollars. So the insurance company made on the way up, okay, let's say $100,000, okay? You made about $5,000. So they made 95 grand, okay? That's what they made on that insurance policy they sold you, okay? And by the way, you got to take out of that 5 grand, you got to take out all the big expenses. So again, it's a real scam. So that's how it works. So now the next time you hear that, oh, you never have to worry again. When the market goes up, you make money. When it comes down, you never lose money. Now you understand. And what they don't explain is people do not buy it. They never time the market where they buy the annuity right at the top here. They never buy it there, because why would you? Because you're happy, you're up 200%. You buy it down here. 99% of the policies are bought on the bottom after the crash, and that's how they suck you in. I hope you now understand it, and maybe you will not get hurt. But the better thing to understand is this. All you need is a simple chart like this. When this crossed over and it started to turn red, yeah, she came green a little bit, but then when she started to turn red, and this was continuous all the way down, you could see it, then you knew that you had a winner here. And you could have been shorting this all the way down. Then look how it just stayed sideways all the way down. Couldn't even get back above this line here. This is a very important line. Could not get back above this line. Remember, the 80% line is very important. Okay, you try to hope to keep your stock. Remember, you always wait. And when you're in a stock, you always hope that these lines here stay above 80%. Because the more these lines right here stay above 80%, the more you're assured the stock's not going to break down. See, so the more they're above 80%, you have more of assurance it's not going to break down. As soon as it breaks through this red line, 80%, you got a big guarantee it's going to drop. And when it gets on the bottom here, that means just going to keep dropping forever. And that's what happens, see, all the way down here. So I hope you understand it. So the best thing is just get the PT2 program. You can understand colors, right? You can understand the confirmation. When it turns from green to red, you know you shouldn't be in the market. When this crossovers, when this crossed red over yellow and it broke this 80%, you know that the market's going down. So to answer his question, when he said no one would ever figure that the oil was going to go down 50%, well, we did, because our charts told us so. See you on the charts.